God boxing fans, it's your boy Ash, man. Pardon me, I'm a little bit tipsy, but check it out. Man, I just saw a video from Boxing Beats and Rhymes. If you ain't sub to his channel, go sub to him. You know his boxing. He from overseas. I check him out time to time. He pretty live. It's a lot of live dudes on YouTube as far as his boxing goes, and it's a lot of characters, man, cartoon characters, just getting in front of the camera, animated. But in terms of content, non-existent whatsoever. But he not one of them dudes you can get a lot. You learn a lot fucking with the Boxing Beats and Rhymes, alright? But in the video he was talking about how Ricky Burns is one of the latest fighters who are now broke. I don't know the whole scope of what happened. All I know is that he was in litigation with Frank Warren. Y'all know Frank Warren. He's like the Don King of England. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It may be both. Don King, there's good and bad that come with him. Same with Frank Warren. And as of right now, he's dead broke. Now, I'm not trying to imply Frank Warren robbed him of millions, but it wouldn't surprise me, because that is what this game of boxing has produced. Boxing has produced many legends, champions, memorable fights, and tragedy. These guys that have left us with memories to pass along to the children, videos of great fights to put in the archives, and these guys are dead fucking broke. And that's why y'all ask me from time to time why I go so federally on the media. This is why. Those bitches not too long ago was just complaining about how Andre Berto was being overpaid for fighting guys who I guess they deemed weren't suitable for the type of purse he was getting. These are the bitches that y'all be following. Y'all go to these websites and y'all read that garbage. They don't know boxing. They only know a little bit. The rest they make up. But the reason why they are who they are is because of their writing ability. But in terms of boxing, they are dick. Dog, they were hating Al Haymon. That's why I understand the hate for Al Haymon when he's getting these guys that money. Because I'm telling you, in the history of boxing, so many fighters' careers ended in them being flat fucking broke, and I can go down a list of them. And Ricky Burns is just the most recent. David Tua got robbed for millions. It's a lot of guys that get robbed for millions, and you want to hate when fighters is actually getting bread. Mind you, they're getting hit in their fucking head for a living. For a living, while you going to go sit behind some goddamn computer. They're getting hit in the head, and you got a problem for them getting money. They gonna need it. Some of them really gonna need it. Some of them probably gonna have a lot of them gonna have medical problems later on in life. Trying to entertain your puss ass, and y'all want to get behind these fucking media members who get mad because a guy like Al Haymon is making them see more money than they ever realized in their whole career. It's a lot of guys from the old school that wish they could be fighting in today's era for two reasons. Not just to get their money. Number one, they beat the shit out of the current crop of fighters that we got in our era. No disrespect, it is what it is. And for two, they would be getting so much more money than they got in their time. You know what I'm saying? They struggled. And the whole time, we've been blessed to see all these great fights, memorable fights. Fights that we can pull up on DVR, VHS if you still got that, Blu-ray, whatever. I mean, because we're at an age we can actually record to Blu-ray. Make that make sense. You know what I'm saying? In a time when motherfuckers grew up at black and white TV with goddamn hangers as the antenna with foil on them. See, if you ain't from the gutter, you don't know nothing about that. You don't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing is, this is what I'm talking about. This is one of the reasons why I can't stand the media. They pick and choose based on the guys that they like. If they like a guy, the criteria for which they are judged on is entirely different from the guys that they don't like. That's why I don't fool with them at all. At all. because you got to be 100 if you're gonna do this media thing. You got to be even Steven. You got to judge it straight down the line, and everybody is subject to the same criteria. If you're gonna criticize, now I've realized that everybody can't possibly be judged to the exact same criteria because everybody's not on the same page. You got guys who are journeymen. You got guys who are legit threats, but they ain't got no high profile promoters, so they got to take fights how they can get them. Maybe it's a couple of days notice, couple of weeks notice, couple of, a month's notice. They still got to make weight, so they got to already be in shape. Then you got guys that are getting this big promotional push because they are deemed to be the next great. I understand the game. You got guys that come in fresh from the amateurs, lights out amateurs. You got guys that come in that not only lights out amateurs, but they are bona fide Olympians, got the Olympic pedigree. I understand the game is not going to be judged on the same criteria, but you got to be as even keel as possible. And this current crop of media is trash, is hot garbage. And this is one of the main reasons. Don't nobody want to see Ricky Burns, bro. Don't nobody want to see none of these fighters, bro. Even goddamn Victor Ortiz, who I don't like whatsoever. I don't want him to be a bum. This dude has gotten hit in his head to my enjoyment, personally, to my enjoyment. The least you can do is make sure that he is well taken care of. Now, if the guy is getting millions upon millions upon millions, and he just blow all that money, hey, you down bad for that. You know what I'm saying? That's on you. But if a guy is supposed to receive millions in his purse, you gotta understand everybody gets paid from the fighter, promoters, the trainers, the sparring partners, the hotels, the food, the plane, all that come out the fighter purse. The fighter is coughing up all that bread, and not to mention if they got advances prior to even being in the fight. You know what I'm saying? So they getting hit several ways till it's time for them to actually get their check. You know what I'm saying? And anything on top of all that stuff is just straight robbery. And I'm telling you, a lot of these guys been getting that dick. And Ricky Burns, more than likely, is the most recent case of it. I don't want to say nothing bad about Frank Warren. Frank Warren got way more money than what he worried about with Ricky Burns. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the case may be on that. All I know is at the end of the day, the fighter is the one who ended up getting screwed, whether it was him getting screwed by his promoter or him getting screwed by his manager, advisor, whoever he had for his best interest, taking care of his financials while he put his life on the line. His life on the line. From 1 to 12, in between bells, to entertain us. He deserved much better. And y'all want to hate on guys that's getting everywhere. Y'all want to hate on the Bronas, the Danny Garcias, the Floyds and stuff like that, the Pacquiaos. Y'all want to hate, even though Pacquiao probably getting that dick too, because he don't have the contract that everybody think he has. Everybody getting a piece of his piece of the pie that he's been getting. And Pacquiao was getting dick before, way before he was even a star, when he was back with Murad Muhammad, and after he was getting dick. And I'm glad he's seeing some money. Whatever he getting is more than what he probably will need to make sure that him and his family is okay. And that's cool with me. Because at the end of the day, this dude is the one that's taking punishment from 9 to 5. He taking punishment by putting his body in tip-top shape. He taking punishment by getting beat on in sparring. Whether he went in the sparring session or not, his body is taking abuse. And then he's getting into the fight, getting his head smashed and smashing other people's heads to entertain. The least they can get is the financial reward for combat, man. That's why I go so hard on the media. This is just one instance. They would hate on certain guys because they seeing money that the media of all people, media make garbage. Journalists don't get no bread, dog. And that's probably why they hate. But at the end of the day, if you don't like the money that you getting, switch careers. I did it. And now I'm seeing more money than I've ever seen. Ain't no complaints from this end. But my whole thing is, that's why I go so hard on them. I can name a billion reasons why I go so hard on them. To me, they are trash. It's a couple of them that I think are pretty good, but for the most part, it's a lot of them that are just straight trash. And nowadays, it seems like everybody just popping up, becoming a media member, and they don't even be knowing no boxing. Ain't got no history. You know what I'm saying? Try to argue you down about stuff that they wasn't even around for. How can you even argue when you wasn't even around? I could tell by your argument that you have no history, and yet you want to be right and you want to win the argument so bad that you arguing on shit that has absolutely no validity. That's the current crop of the media that we have today. They are trash, man. And some of the ones that actually been around are straight trash. But I wanted to get that off my chest, man. I wanted to get, because I've always stood on the fact that fighters should be getting that financial reward. That's why I didn't criticize Al Haymon, even when he was giving us trash fights. Y'all wasn't giving him no credit for the good fights he was giving us anyway. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we were having fights on TV and guys was getting money for it. And I don't have an argument with that, because where there are bad fights, eventually there will be good fights. You cannot sustain the sport of boxing on bad fights. It won't live. And now y'all seeing what he doing. So I'm saying, watch who you spend your time watching on these videos. Watch who you spending your time when you're reading articles. Just watch it, because a lot of these guys, they wear their popularity, so to speak, like a badge of honor, and it ain't even deserved. They just happen to have some type of shtick that everybody's attracted to, whether it's their personality, their writing ability, or whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, you're not getting fed if you're truly trying to learn the sport of boxing. They're trash. Come to this YTBC. It's a lot of guys here that got some history. A lot of guys here that don't got no history, but at the end of the day, they talk about boxing. If they don't have no history, they still in the right place, because they finna get that fucking with the YTBC, especially if you fucking with that Ashy Knuckles. But I'm gonna get with you, man. I just wanted to let loose on this anti-media diatribe that I put out there. I feel bad for Ricky Burns. It's unfortunate. Solid guy, you know. It ain't the end of the road for him yet. I mean, I think he in his early 30s, so it ain't like he can't fight. He got a good skill set. You know, the guys that he lost to guys that were tough. Even the fights that I felt was a robbery, like Ray Beltran, I got argued down for it. I ain't finna get on arguing me down, but they were tripping because I said Ray Beltran was a tough fighter. He is tough, but see, that's what I'm talking about. They don't got no history. They think because he's not highly promoted, a high profile fighter, that you just get blasted on your TV every time you turn it on, that there's no merit to that argument. Ray Beltran come to fight point blank, and I can name thousands more, maybe not thousands, but hundreds more of guys that you probably ain't even heard of, or probably you barely heard of, but they are tough out every time you get in the ring with them. They coming to do that, but they don't have that big promotional push. You know what I'm saying? He's just one of them. But like I said, Ricky Burns fought some solid dudes, especially as of late, and I think he deserved better. It ain't the end of the road for him. I think he need to go on here and leave that side of the pond. Come over here to this America. I think if you beat the right guys over here, you probably can build up a good fan base over here. Or if not, just ditch Frank Warren. If he the one serving you like that, giving it to you like that, get with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Or start your own promotional bid, or whatever it is. If you're going to continue fighting, there's more money out there for you. I mean, if it was me that got left with just $200, you know, that'll never happen to me because I got too much hustle. But for him, he got a name, Ricky Burns. People know that name across the pond. So there's more hope for him. He can get fights. He just need to get the right people to represent him on the financial aspect of this sport called boxing, and it'll happen for him. But I'll get with y'all, man. It's the boy Ash. Deuce.